sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Drum roll. Brrr. Welcome everyone to episode 536 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular gamecast, swolecast, beardcast, livecast, broadcast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex. Wait for it. Our biceps. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 536 of the Daily Slizzy Swole. It's an amazing Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 536. Let's start off today's episode with the question of the day. And today it's from Carrie Sims. And Carrie asks, how do I increase strength and decrease body fat percentage? First off, Carrie, you need to figure out what you want. You want to increase your strength and decrease body fat percentage. What so many people do, and you might be one of these people that are listening, what so many people do is they start pulling themselves in different directions. First off, increasing strength seems like a very vague goal. Does that mean build muscle, or does that mean you want to lift 50 pounds as opposed to 40 pounds? Which will then lead me to the question, why? Why? I think so many of us have these goals or things that we say without any real reason behind it. Why do you want to get stronger? Do you have a powerlifting competition coming up? Do you have like a dresser you need to move in your bedroom and you're not strong enough to lift it? Why do you want to increase strength? I understand the body fat part, and let me help you with this. It's going to come down for you for diet and how should I say this? It's going to come down to nutrition, eliminating inflammatory foods to get rid of excess body fat, and just doing your weight training. Don't worry so much about increasing strength and decrease body fat. When you change the focus from a number, because body fat percentage means absolutely fucking nothing. I'm very tired of talking about body fat percentage because most people have absolutely no concept of what body fat percentage really is. Many people think that they're less than they are and underestimate how high their body fat percentage is. It's just the amount of fat based on your entire mass. You need to start eating healthier, and you need to do resistance training, and you need to be consistent. You need to focus on the systems in place so you could be consistent with your training. And then what you're asking will come. Don't worry about how, just start doing. Really, that question is all about execution and you getting off your butt and getting in a systematic approach to your fitness. Get rid of the junk food, get rid of the inflammatory foods, try an elimination diet, and start doing your weight training regularly, and you'll get those results. So, that being said, and remember, if you want your question featured right here on the Daily Swole, make sure you ask your question in the comments and use the hashtag #PapaSwolio for a chance to be featured right here on the Daily Swole. Good question, common question, but the answer is so much more simpler than you think. It's just fucking doing it, just getting started. So today's episode 536 is all about the arms. Basic is big. We're talking about getting bigger arms. We're talking about shaping arms. We're talking about developing arms, but you can't develop your arms if you don't have mass. We need to build that mass first. We need to get that size. And I have built my arms because of the basic movements. Basic is big. Basic is simple. Basic is direct. Basic is focus. I can't even talk. I'm just so fucking excited about talking about big arms. Basic is simple. It's direct. It's straight to the point. If you don't like someone, you walk up to them and you say it to their face, I fucking don't like you. That is direct. That's straightforward. You might get punched in the face, but that's also straightforward. You need to be direct with your body. Just like you be direct and honest with someone, just like how I'm brutally honest on the Daily Swole, you need to be brutally honest with your training. So, basic lifts for both biceps and triceps. The arm does two things, the elbow joint specifically. Curl, elbow flexion, and elbow extension. Simple, two things. There are subtle changes, there are angles, and there are things that we can do when we're more advanced, but if you're not just doing brute mass training exercises, barbell or dumbbell curls, cable tricep extensions, or supine tricep extensions like skull crushers, you have a lot of work to do. Don't get fancy with cables. Don't get fancy with bands. Don't get fancy with your training. There's nothing fancy about arm training. It's very, very simple and it's very direct. So elbow flexion, elbow extension, you really just have to hammer those things. Don't complicate the lifts. Don't do more than you can chew. Doesn't have to be 10 different exercises. You need to focus on 2 or 3 really important basic movements and crush those. And I mean crush those. We talked yesterday about the exercises being simple. We talked yesterday about just focusing on the basic lifts, that simple is better, that direct is better. And today, just reinforcing that if you're complicating with different angles, it's too soon. You can't be Michelangelo before you have your big stone, before you have your block of marble. Once you have that, you can carve it and shape it the way you want, but you have to build that first. Unfortunately for us, we can't go on Amazon and just order a big bicep and then chip away at it. We need to start with our body. So we need to build that raw mass first. So don't complicate the lifts. Focus just on the elbow flexion, the elbow extension, and simple is really honestly the road less traveled. I've helped so many people build bigger arms by just telling them, stop doing your biceps and triceps at the end of your back and your chest workouts. Stop doing them as an afterthought. Stop doing them as part of an upper body day or a push day or a pull day. Give yourself a fucking arm day. Show your arms some fucking respect. Think about that. Show your arms some fucking respect. If you want big arms, how dare you? How dare you expect to get big arms without putting in big effort focused on that? It's like with anything else. If you study, it's like trying to do well on an exam by playing basketball. You're not going to do well on your math exam if you're playing basketball, right? You can't get better at math by playing basketball. You have to study. You have to focus on the actual equations, for example. And that was just the first thing that popped into my head. But you have to focus. You have to fucking focus. You have to focus on what you want. Once you narrow it down, you get that tunnel vision for your arm training, get that tunnel vision for curls. Just go into the gym, grab a barbell, and curl it for 15 fucking sets. Go to the cables and do tricep pushdowns. Go heavy. Go 8 to 12 repetitions to failure and do that for 10 fucking sets and see how well you can lift, see how well you can wipe your ass the next day. I'm telling you, you go heavy and you go basic and you give the arms the respect that they deserve, you are going to get some nice mass, and then we can start carving it. So tomorrow, episode 537, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to build that mass, a little bit more about the approach. And this is all, of course, going to be gone into a little bit more depth, a lot more depth, I should say, with the workshop on Thursday in my premium group. Going to talk a lot about angles, and a lot about the incline and prone positions and the wrist position. That's going to be some awesome content, so I hope you join me there as well. And remember, if you want your question to be featured live right here on the Daily Swole, make sure that you ask in the comments using the hashtag AskPapaSwolio. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 536 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular gain cast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thank you to our sponsors, K2 and Everest, flexing on you. Oh, large and in charge, and I hope you join me for Arm Day today and every fucking day. Keep it basic. Love you guys. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Thank you so much for watching here on Facebook and catching on YouTube, and listen to the podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. Ask your questions in the comment below, and remember, hashtag AskPapaSwolio to be featured right here on the Daily Swole. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow for episode 537. Peace out. Love you. Ooh.